nakalubit lang pagkaabala.
Naimbaga, bigat tayo amin, po, aming listeners and amin buibuya, lahat po na nanonood dito sa ating daily press con and sa ating pagkaantabay po sa araw-araw na impeachment trial na nandito. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being with us here this morning. No? So we'll just give updates about the important things that happened during the first day of presentation of witness yesterday, as well as what we could expect during the trial this afternoon. So the prosecution is very pleased with how the first day unfolded yesterday. I think as we also, Congressman Noy Defensor clearly, emphatically laid down the prosecution's position that the grave threats issued by the respondent against the lives of the President, the Vice President, and the former Speaker of the House constitute a betrayal of public trust, culpable violation of the Constitution, and high crimes. I think maganda din ho ang nangyayari na-emphasize ho dito that this article is based not just on documents and testimonies rather than the words uttered by the respondent herself. And maganda din ho yung naging reminder na kung ang mga simpleng mamayang Pilipino, tulad ho ng isang public school teacher na nagbigkas ng threat sa life ng previous president, pati ho ang isang ordinaryong citizen na naggumawa ho ng bomb joke. Officials to higher standards of morality, decency, and accountability. And nakita din ho natin kahapon, at we're very pleased that Attorney Ligutan was able to effectively present our first witness. As we've seen, despite the repeated objections from the other camp, which is of course, to be fair with them, that's expected. They're doing their job, but we were still able to present the video footage that you wanted and all of this authentication documents. So for today, yesterday we were able to conclude the direct examination of our first witness, and today we expect the defense to conduct their cross-examination.
Good morning po. Attorney Tolosa, there was a call to play the whole 2 hours of the video. Why shouldn't that be played in whole during the trial po?
It could be done, like what the defense stated, right? They want to see the entire video para makita ho daw yung entire context when those subject utterances were made, when the threats were made. But as pointed out by Attorney Ligutan yesterday, and which was found to be correct by the presiding officer, discretion ho ng prosecution kung anong parte nung video na yon ang aming ipapakita. Now, if the defense on cross-examination would want all of us to watch the entire 2-hour video, then they can try to do that later on cross.
Sir, how would that affect yung expediency noong trial?
Well, as we could see, that's precisely the reason why on direct examination we objected to that attempt, to force us to have everyone sit there for more than 2 hours and watch it because we didn't find it to be necessary. But later, they'll probably try to do that, and we'll see how the impeachment court will rule on it.
Sir, what are we expecting for this afternoon?
As I've mentioned, they will cross-examine the witness, and this is their right. Ang trabaho ng prosecution, ilatag ang ebidensya, iyo po ang aming testigo. Under the process, under the rules of procedure, ang depensa naman meron silang karapatan na mag-cross-examine ng witness namin. But we're confident na tatayo ang ebidensya ang mga linalatag namin.
Yes, po, you have something to add?
Sa akin kasi hindi na bago yung hindi na bago yung video na yun. Siguro napanood na lahat ng tao sa hindi lang sa Pilipinas, baka sa buong mundo napanood na po nila yung senaryo na yun. Pero nag-rule naman po ang ating impeachment judges. Sinabi naman po nila na pwede pong gawin yun during the time ng defense. Klarong-klaro naman po yun. Pero pag umiikot ka naman po, nakikita, ang tagal na po nun. Ilang taon na? Ilang taon na ba yun? 2 taon? Klarong-klaro naman po, binalikan yung mga timestamps saka nung plinayback nila yung mga crucial saka importanteng part. Bago po ako bago po nag-umpisa tong trial na to, nasa La Union ako umuwi ako Pag tinatanong po ako dito, hindi ako masyado nagde-dwell dun sa alam kong equally important yung other articles, pero parang dito talaga may kurot yung sa grave threats kasi parang ang hirap namang depensahan nung direct threat na yun, yung open threat, sabi nga nila. Sabi nga, sa ibang bansa yan, nako, secret service ng nakaharap sa'yo Sabi, yung mga, usually po kasi mga kakwentuhan ko, mga matatanda Ang sabi nila, nagdakes. Ang sama nung narinig nilang gano'n na open threat na ganyan, na manggagaling po sa matataas na opisyal. Although, ongoing na po itong ating trial, yun naman po yung importante. Sabi ko nga, ito lang po yung proper na forum para ipaliwanag po lahat at saka idepensa o ilatag man yung ebidensya. At napakalakas po ng araw ng kahapon, napakalakas po ng sigaw ng ebidensya. Thank you.
Is it possible for the prosecution to present the second witness later, sir?
It will depend. So what will happen is the defense will start their cross-examination when they're done. If necessary, we could also conduct a redirect examination, and then they'll also have the right to conduct recross. So depending on how long all of that will take, if there's enough time, and if the impeachment court will allow us, we'll be ready to present our second witness today.
Thank you po.
Andy? Okay, Red.
Good morning po, Kong and Attorney. Kong, sabi po kasi ni Attorney Michael Powa, the defense spokesperson, na they're not counting the scores. Hindi naman nila binibilang yung scores kasi nga this was in reply doon sa sinabi yata kahapon ni Kong Sia na parang panalo na raw ang prosecution. Pero ang defense, they're saying na they're not counting down the scores kasi hindi naman daw ito parang parang di man daw ito boxing or it's still early in the game, ika nga nila. What's your take po doon sa sinasabi ng defense na it's too early to keep scores or keep tabs on this?
Should I take it first?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, the prosecution is not claiming victory at this early stage. As we've stated, we've just said that we're pleased with how the first day of presentation of witness went, because despite the repeated attempts to stop us from presenting our evidence, we prevailed and were able to do that. Now, tama ho yun, kami, to be fair dun sa other party, they were just doing their job, I-expect naman talaga natin yan, they will raise objections. But fortunately, sa aming side, we were able to counter them, and impeachment court allowed us to present our evidence. So, naniniwala ho kami doon, hindi ito paramihan ng objections at paramihan ng favorable ruling sa mga objections na to. Patibayan ho ng ebidensya to, and that's our goal.
Malakas po kasi ang kiliti ni Kong Zia. So medyo nakiliti siya. Nakiliti siya kahapon. Kasi alam naman po natin, halos magdadalawang taon na po to bago nag-umpisa yung trial. So yung pagkasabi niya, mapepresenta na po yung ebidensya, magkakaroon na ng trial. is a victory in itself. Klaro naman po 'yun sa prosecution, sa sentiment, mga survey. Tansya ko po, kinilig siya ng konti. Pero again, as explained by Attorney Tolosa, mahaba po yung proseso. Kumbaga, these are the early steps. And sabi nga po, maganda na po na tumatakbo na po itong ating impeachment. It's a big first step for every.
Last na lang po. Of course, nasabi din po ng defense na yung mga objections nila are it's a way of it's part of the process kasi nga yung iba daw doon sa mga questions nyo were leading questions daw na answerable by yan. Din, of course, marami din silang objections yun nga yung sa pag-play nga ng video kasi nga yung sa context po. Tell me po, attorney, do you think po ba or does it think po ba na the defense did too much objections na parang, or you think po ba that they are delaying the trial po?
Alam mo, din nila yan, tulanin sa'yo kanina, diba? In fairness to them, they're doing their job, no? They'll do their job, they'll try to object to our questions, and we'll do ours, which is to present evidence.
Okay, Milky.
Good morning, Attorney. You were pleased, sabi nyo nga, with the results of day 2. How will you maintain the momentum of the hearing?
Well, we think there's only keep prepared for the trial, for every witness that we will present, for every evidence that we will submit to the court. Yan lang naman ho yan. Naman, no, pleased with first and foremost as a result of the hard work of and the months of preparations.
To second Attorney Jane. Actually, ang tinanong ko po dito si Attorney Lorna. Kasi siya, kumbaga, na siya. Sabi ko, Lorna, sabi niya hindi. Pero I treat the smallest case as the biggest case. Tapos, preparation will outweigh everything. So, talaga. One na parang advice niya o when I try to pick her brain na sinasabi niya na kahit anong kaso yan or anong bagay yan, yung paghahanda will always out kahit prosecute.
My request for Attorney Zuleika Attorney Zuleika Lopez to attend the hearing. Ito po ba is under the Article 4? At kung hiramin kong term ni Congressman, kadagdag ba sa pagsubaybay?
Okay. Yes, we confirm that we filed the request for issuance of subpoena to direct Attorney Zuleika to appear before the court. Currently pending women coordinate, and we hope you'll understand. We can't yet delve into the merits and discuss at length what would be her testimony. So let's wait for that.
Factor naman doon. May mga pamilya used to have the hearings in the house sa Blue Ribbon and sa Quad. So, siguro nostalgic yung feeling. Parang ganun.
Magandang umaga po. Kenneth from Inquirer. Sir, matanong na lang din po pala, attorney. Cross-examination na kasi mamaya. Will the defense be allowed to pursue leading to witness?
I'm sorry, on cross-examination, that's allowed.
After, sa redirect, pwede pa
Sa
rin po?
redirect? No.
Cross-examinations lang po talaga.
Yes.
And how will this affect the case po? Na allowed ang defense to put forward leading questions into the witnesses? And how is the effort weaken the evidence and the testimonies of the witnesses being presented?
Okay. That's normal, no? Sa lahat naman ho ng trial work, ganyan ho talaga yan under the rules of court, no? Leading questions are not allowed during the direct examination, allowed examination, no? Uncommon. So, ang mga prosecutors natin ay handa naman ho sa ganyang klaseng proseso. So, as you could see yesterday, it went smoothly naman yung presentation of our first.
Okay po. How the defense raised objections yesterday sa direct examination nga ng prosecution with the manner how they conducted themselves, with the objections and all. Do you think this offers a glimpse into how the defense plans to mount a defense of Vice President Sara Duterte?
Yes, no, again, this is something that we've anticipated from the start. This is consistent with their actions. From the time before the actives, diba, they tried to block, no, from the impeachment proceedings from moving forward, filing petitions with the Supreme Court. Yesterday, diba, we all know that another Supreme Court, another motion court wants to stop the impeachment proceeding from continuing, no, and even their answers. They raised affirmative defenses asking for the outright dismissal of the case based on technicalities and other legal arguments. So we were anticipating that, no, that they will try to from presentation. To be fair, syempre, that's their prerogative, no, strategy nila yan, no, but kami naman, isa lang focus namin. We'll continue to present solid evidence to prove the impeachment.
Okay. Yesterday visited sa detention. Could this raise arguments against the senator serving as a judge in the trial? And should the visit cast any doubts on the senator's capacity to be impartial throughout the trial?
Hindi ko na pa ihima sa Sir Perog, wherever she wants to visit, and we respect that.
Dagdagan ko na lang siguro, di ba, nostalgic nga tayo. Nung isang hearing ng papansin, wala po yung Marcoleta. Tapos, kinain po yata ni dating Congressman Paduano yung hopya niya. Nung break po namin, napansin ko na may baon po na hamburger ang Office of the Vice President. May baon po silang Jollibee. Si Senator Marcoleta lang po ang binigyan niya na congressman ng cheeseburger nun. So, siguro medyo may level of closeness sa pagkakaibigan sila without naman judging kung ano man ang relasyon ng pagiging senador or BBF siguro. Kasi siya lang yung binigyan nga ng cheeseburger na congressman. Kami hindi binigyan.
Haji?
Good morning po. Good morning po, Kongs and attorney. Sundan ko lang po yung tanong ni Kenneth na they will try to weaken. So, niyo po ba try to at integrity or the credibility of the witness that you presented yesterday?
They can try to do that, no? But at the end of the day, we're talking about video footage showing view give on it, no, it's against the First Lady and the Speaker of the House. So, as pointed out, no, by Kong Pao, so attacks on the even character of the or credibility of the NBI officer who authenticated this footage. I think medyo mahirap po sigurong ma-attack yung authenticity ng document itself. But, I mean, the footage itself. But, of course, no, let's... we don't attempt what they'll...
What about po yung sinasabi nila na may sinusundang script? Na-expect niyo po ba na they will, kumbaga, try to establish na meron nga pong sinusundang script? Sa po ba kayo si John Mark Calido?
Okay. Quite frankly, that was uncalled for, no? And Attorney Ligutan properly called that out. No? Dahil napakalinaw namang witness about the document, kaya wala sa kanya, dahil pinasa ho dun sa depensa yung dokumento. No? So, but again, how they'll handle this trial, how they'll defend their client, din kung ano magiging trial strategy nila dito.
Last question na lang po. Although it's their right to request na play nga po yung whole 2 hours ng that. Do you think ipinresent ninyo na 2 minutes and 18 seconds po would provide the context that the public needs or the senator judges need? Tapos po, kasi considering na before the answer of the Vice President, I think may question din po na ni-raise yung isa po na nandun sa press conference. So sapat na po ba yung konteksto na na-provide kung kayo po yung tatanong?
Again, as we've stated, if they want to play the entire video, that's their prerogative. No? Tignan natin kung papayagan sila ng impeachment court na panoorin natin more than 2 hours na to, no? Napakaliwanag naman ho, no? Kahit sang konteksto mo pabalik-balik na rin kung ano ho yung mga sinabing pagmumura at pananakot sa buhay ho ng presidente. Again, for us, we didn't see the need to play the entire video consisting of more than 2 hours. And what we showed is more than enough.
Saka napakaklaro naman ng displays, the AI video camps. Pag nanonood ka naman ng championship sa NBA, pagkatapos ng laro, di ba, papanoorin mo yung highlights. Gusto mo yung winning shot ni Michael Jordan ng paulit-ulit. That's the money. Kitang-kita natin yun. Alam natin yun.
Pasensya na, medyo late ako pero magdadagdag na rin ako. No? Dadagdag na rin ako. So I got the question. I think it's not only stability of these video clips, but more important is what the effect of the threats that she made, no, against the president to the whole nation. Ano yung epekto nito? Hahayaan ba natin to na basta-basta na lang ma-express without accountability? That also that the agencies will not do anything to investigate, because it was said in a manner by which it should be taken seriously. No, and the threat was done, directed not just for an individual. It is the right of government and the commander-in-chief. That's why it is also a national security concern. That's why many agencies came in and investigated if there was indeed an agreement and the hitman. Pangalawa, dadagdagan ko na lang po, the mere fact that she had that idea and made an understanding and agreement with the person who was out from killing people is already a betrayal of public trust. Kasi she is expected to uphold the law, she is expected to promote the rule of law. Yun mismo yung alam niya na merong mamamatay tao at hindi niya ito pinagsabi sa mga pulis, sa mga ahensya ng ating gobyerno. At mo ang nakita, that alone is a betrayal of the oath that she has taken prior to the assumption as Vice President of this land.
All right, and then your turn.
Good morning po. I-follow na po yun dun sa dun sa press na wala po kasi yung kapag pinatay ako. Kaya dun po papasok yung sinasabi ng yung conditional threat. At ito daw pumaparticles, hindi po siya offense. Pwede pong pakipaliwanag natin sa ating mga kababayan.
First of all, to be accurate, I think the witness himself repeatedly stated that, no, nung tinatanong ho siya about dun sa mga relevant na portions ho nung interview, sinabi yan, no, yung bago siya yung buong statement ho na yan. So, nailad naman yun. And if the defense would want to emphasize that, they're free to do so. They can do that during cross-examination. No, but our position remains, no, that condition does unacceptable. No, again, as pointed out by Kong Zia, this threat was made by no less than the person who will benefit, no, should it be carried out. Diba? It was made against the highest officer by the pit, if it
Dadagdag ko lang, no? Remember, even before that response to a question during the Zoom conference, there were already interviews and statements by her indicating that is all, di ba? Haying Pangulong Marcos itatapon sa WPS. So, kahapon po, pinresenta din po yan ng prosecution to prove that there is even his grave test during the actual Zoom interview ng Vice President. But be as it may, no, whatever context, reason, grave threat tolerated, whatever the consequence involved, whatever the circumstance, or yung sinasabi nilang context para maintindihan daw. Contracting an assassin and having agreement with is in violation, being the official in the land. That alone, again, that alone is an impeachable offense. So it's regardless whether the context is, you know, because of there's a or that does not qualify, that does not even give justification to accuse, to, you know, to threatening the head of state, who, by the way, if that happens, she would be the one to stand to benefit from that.
Janeska?
Sir, bilang po kami presiding officer Escudero, on photocopies po kasi ito kasi the defense seems to be dun sa part photocopies yung tinetest the documents being presented and as being testified by the NBI agent Kalilong, puro daw po photocopies. Tapos hindi daw exactly pareho dahil yung isa may nakalagay na certified true copy. May sasabi siyang ganun. But I understand, ito lang kasi yung nakatch ko dun sa sinabi, sa ruling ni Senate, ni Presiding Officer Escudero, na this is, the prosecution is trying to comply with the requirements enunciated by the Supreme Court insofar as such pieces of evidence is concerned. Sabi ni Senator Escudero. Can you just expound, sir, why photocopies are as good as the original? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the question. No? Para mas maliwanagan tayo lahat. I think madami nagtatanong tungkol sa bagay niya. No? So under the new rules on evidence, malinaw ho yan. No? That there's a rule that we call the original document rule. Under that rule, duplicates, no, such as photocopies, are considered as originals, no, provide issue authenticity. Is lang ho, no, na mga discrepancies ay merong marka na certified true copy versus ibang copy. That is not not a ECT because it shows that aside from that stamp or that marking, they're the same. It's a faithful reproduction of the original. So, yan ho yung konteksto na yun. No? I think sa social media, madaming nagko-question. Bagay na yan. Ba, ang passport, sabi gano'n, lumipad, dala mo yung photocopy. Hindi ho gano'n yun. No? Ang sinabi ni Atty. Ligutan, yan ho ay nakabase sa rules on evidence. No? Ng doktor sa korte, hindi na kailangan na palaging original ang document ay pepresenta mo, subject to the conditions that I've mentioned.
Thank you, sir. Yan lang po from my end. Thank you.
Mark.
Good morning po. Yesterday po, si Presiding Officer Jesus Cordero, kinonfirm po niya na yung 16 po votes for the two-thirds threshold po yung formal ruling na ng impeachment court. Well, of course, subject pa raw po so any legal remedies available to the parties. Questionin po ba ito ng prosecution sa Korte Suprema, lalo na may initial statements po, even you, Attorney Tolosa, Lead Prosec Luistro, considering yung interpretation nga po ng Avellino doctrine.
Well, first, yet legal on this two-thirds issue because I've always said that it will be improper for me to discuss, our legal position on that. Because it was pretty much. But first of all, this has been consistent, from the very start. We don't engage in vote counting. Focus namin dito to establish an airtight case backed by overwhelming evidence so that at the end of the day, no matter how this two-thirds threshold will be interpreted, be able to secure. As to the legal steps that we may take regarding this matter, it's still under deliberation discussions by the panel of prosecutors. And how we'll address it.
Idadagdag ko lang, I think during the early part of this impeachment process, it also came out but these ideas that did not emanate from the House prosecution panel. It actually came from other personalities who are very much in the community. Sinatart ng prosecutor si Congresswoman Jinky Luistro, that should there be an event, in the event that there will be officially naman ng House lead ay hindi kami magre-render or mag-officially request the court to reinterpret this. Ibig sabihin, na itong pangyari ito big interpretation pagdating vis-a-vis yung current membership sa ngayon ay inililive again. Sinabi nga din ni Attorney Tolosa, sabi ng ating lead procurator ay kapag kung may issue, controversy, hinayaan doon din natin yung proper na forum at proper na venue para pag-usapan ito. Basta very clear po yung sinabi niya, we will not make any official request before the internal requirement of a threshold to reach the judgment by the impeachment court.
Go ahead.
Follow up lang sa you will not raise it, but will you report possibility?
There are no discussions about that matter, no. But because as we've stated, we're really focused on just presenting for the impeachment. At the end of if it we should be.
So, as of now, is that maybe the stand po ng prosecution, you will never bring this to the Supreme Court?
Stated, no, there's yet, frankly, That is not included in any of our priorities. Again, our priority right now is focus on the trial and focus on case. By presenting evidence.
Just to clarify, Marian, because you were there during the press con when I was with Kong Jinky and Congresswoman Ben Zamora. The question would be execution planning calling for an official or formal request before the impeachment court to readjust or reinterpret the threshold 16. And it was very clear by the response of Congresswoman Jing proceed not or make any official request before the impeachment court, no, to readjust the threshold.
Pero hindi pa sarado yung pintuan
Realm of possibility, that's us under the law and under the rules. But as I've stated, are we discussing it? At this moment, we're not. Is that among our priorities? It's not. Again, our priority is to continue to present evidence before the court.
Just to clarify, the one that we're saying and the one that is referring to by Congresswoman Jinky is the honorable impeachment court. We're talking about that's together. It's very evident by the way the House Prosecution Panel approached this trial. Una, nagpresent ng kaso, and never did we intimate or reflect in our position in the pre-trial brief that there will be a possibility that we will file it. That is consistent. Congresswoman Luistro said in the previous briefing that we conducted in the House at the House of Representatives.
Sir, all throughout the Attorney Ligutan, pinuna po niya yung gumawa raw ng eksena, may scene, nag-walk out daw. Kumbaga ito si Attorney Sheila Season. Can you walk us through? Baka maalala niyo ano yung nangyari kahapon.
I think Mutan was responding to a question posed by Senator Risa, right, about the materiality. Pointed out that it seems that statements were made which were directed to him, but in fairness to the other camp, clarified that attempt to and is trying to go to the comfort room, I think. So we don't want to make much out of that incident. It's already been settled.
Last na lang po, question ni Acha. Hindi lang po na emphasis yung gaano ba kabigat? Kasi po parang ang argument is that conditional threat siya eh. So parang paano siya naging impeachable offense? Grave threats will fall under high crimes too. Baka hindi lang siya betrayal of public trust, culpable violation of the Constitution. Can you emphasize on that?
Okay. So, again, as pointed out by Kong Zee a while ago, let's remember that the statements made by the respondent, she admitted that she already had an agreement with to no less than the President of the Republic, the First Lady, and the then sitting Speaker of the House. So, no amount of or any other context that they would want to offer will justify that. That would make that right. That is the position has been statements made yesterday and even in the answers given by Attorney Ligutan to the questions posed by Senator Riza.
Quick follow-up po dun sa tanong ni Ate Jen, how or misunderstanding kasi kahapon nga po medyo tumatak talaga yung sinabi ni Attorney Ligutan doon sa photocopies being considered original, and meron din po kasing mga nagpo-post din online na nagpo-photocopy nga po ng pera and sana pambar yung mga ganding or misinformation.
Ako na, ikaw. Hindi kasi yan, marami tayong great philosophers sa mundo ngayon, di ba? Siyempre, meron silang mga chat GPT na pang-reply na sa kanila. Marami sila make them grades as well. Tuloy ko lang yung sa grave threats, di ba? Wala yatang universe na magsasabi na hindi po grave o mataas na krimen ang itreten ang buhay ng Pangulo ng Pilipinas. Walang magdi-disagree nun, except the great philosophers. Pero yung mga pilosopong yan, at saka yung mga henyo na nandyan, kahit nga dun lang sa word na grave threats, pwede mo nang kunin yung sagot. Diba? Sunod ng grave threat. Ano yung grave? Libingan. Diba? Kung kukunin mo yun, grabe. Kung tatagalugin mo yung grave, grabe. Grabing threat. So, kahit na pilosopohin mo, wala kasi, nakalatag na kaya, it's so obvious na anong palusot pang hahanapin mo dyan sa mga ganyang bagay. Now, in terms of the photocopy, na mga ganyang ebidensya, inaalaw po ng ating korte. Kung yung mga great philosophers, saka yung mga great na nagtatanong, gumawa sila ng sarili ng rules sa korte. Doon, papasa siguro yung mga gusto nila mga. Pero, kung ipaliwanag, kailangan, marami pong bagay na will speak for itself. At itong article po na to, itong grave threats na to, may sariling buhay, hindi na kailangan. Na lang po yun. Salamat.
Well, ang mabuti naman doon, na kasi we always look at the bright side. No? Even if these are things that came out from the social media, na pabiyo, ibig sabihin, the important thing that we need to realize here. No? Pero sinabi nga kanina ni Attorney Jay, huwag niyong isisirok sa mga pera niyo tapos bumili kayo ng mga supermarket. Kasi yan, fake. Minsan sa nakapaskil dyan yung mga peke na pera, baka naman mahuli pa kayo. So wag niyo hong gagawin yan, ha? So, pangalawa, kaya nga po tayo sa prosecution from in the open court, gumagawa ho tayo ng conference or press briefing tulad nito. Dahil importante po importante po yung participation ng ating bansa, ng impeachment. Dahil ang media ay impormasyon para bigyang kasagutan yung mga tanong ng ating taong bayan as we move trial. Sa mga paraan, papaliwanag sa kanila kung ano pa yung napapakinggan nila doon sa actual trial na to. Pero alam mo, nagpapasalamat po ako sa kanila. Dahil maski pabiro po ito, ibig sabihin, ay interesado sila. Kinig, yan, trial. Pero ang sa legal naman, na-explain na po yan ni Attorney Jay, ito po yung sa korte, ito po yung sinasabi na paano i-present tayo mga ebidensya na copy siya, test naman. Huwag niyong gagawin yan kasi inaalaw lang ho yan sa actual na trial. Pag bumibili ho kayo ng shampoo, hindi yun actual trial. Yun. Bili ho yung inyong mga grocery, ho yung gagawin yan dahil ng security guard.
Maraming salamat po sa mga great philosophers, sa mga nagko-comment, sa mga trolls, sa mga bashers. Kasi ewan ko, alala po ng House dahil nanayapan ng impeachment, nandito na tayo ngayon, nag-umpisa na yung trial. Dati kasi parang papasok pa lang tayo doon. So salamat. Thank you.
Verification, what is proof on testimonies and evidence required in the impeachment trial? Is it the same in the regular criminal
yan na ang impeachment proceedings, no, ay hindi ho criminal in nature, no. Kaya ho ang tinatawag sa Vice President dito, hindi accused kung hindi ho nag-a-apply yung quantum of evidence na required ho dyan, no. And hindi din ho nakalagay sa Constitution o kung saan mang rule kung ano ho ang i-apply na quantum of evidence dyan, no. I think it was meant by there that apply, no, the requirement of clear and convincing evidence. If I remember correctly, no, that we'll have to check that. But at the end of the day, tingin ho namin ang pinakamaliwanag dito, hindi ho yung maghusga base sa ebidensya na linatag ng magkabilang partido.
Dadagdag ko lang po, yung po na conviction ang ma-arrive ng korte, wala naman pong jail time ito. Ang magiging penalty po ay removal from office and disqualification. Kaya and then Attorney Jay can correct me on this, hindi po siya tulad ng regular criminal proceedings na beyond reasonable doubt. Yung dapat na ma-prove prosecution is kung Constitution. At sabi nga po ng ating presiding officer, yun naman talaga yung quantum of evidence required in the po natin fiction is obtainable.
Okay, thank you, Joy. Yes.
Saglit na may follow up ako. Sir, with regards naman po doon sa sinabi ni Isara kahapon, di ba, nag-incident at bloodbath and blood will be involved somehow, ganyan po. Do you see a consistent pattern of incendiary language or it's with just a framing, a call to action or just a mere expression of disappointment or driver?
Mahilig siya sa blood. Yun yung pati Bloody Mary. So, parang yun lang yung, kasi one-liner lang eh, tapos nag-move up na. So, it's open to interpretation. Interpretative daw. Sabi ko nga, talaga na medyo hindi siya mag-a-attend talaga ng hearings eh. So, siguro nag-ano lang siya, nagparamdam. Parang clickbait nga. Pagka-click mo ay, iba naman pa yung nangyari. So, siya sa blood.
But matagal naman po natin sinasabi ang House Prosecution Panel that this is the perfect venue for the defendant to clear her if the defendant believes she has that she has that they have that they have the answers in order for public found it perfect opportunity to do so. At hindi naman ho namin yan sinasabi na kami lang yung nananawagan. Sila ho mismo, sinabi ho nila in the previous months na ready for decision. But be that as it may, again, the answering the allegation is answering directly whether or not she has ordered the way by the utilization of potential funds is outside, therefore on the utilization of funds. We have not heard her deny that, no? So these are the questions that the people want to hear from her, no? Kasi trial. So yung motions po, a popular poem, pero sa akin po parang it appeared and it sounded like a Game of Thrones inspired punchline. Po yun at hindi po yun ng mga tao yung handa silang sumagot sa proper forum. Unfortunately, the public is yet again disappointed.
Okay, we'll entertain last two questions. Kasi po may schedule sila after this.
Kahapon, Attorney Lorna Mapulan said that the prosecution may move to or file a request to subpoena the sub-visors. When are we expecting the request to be filed?
Let's see. That's a matter of strategy. That, of course, you will understand. We cannot do, but
But sir, right now, just a follow-up, do you see any challenge to subpoena or to compel the Vice President to take the witness? Kasi, how for the compel to take over?
okay. Well, as I've mentioned a while ago, this is not a criminal case. In a criminal case, because of the right against self-prosecution, excused herself as witness. But again, the respondent's not an accused here, she's a respondent. So when that time comes, if and when we file request for issuance of suspected impeachment.
All right, thank you, Rosalie, for final but not...
Mag-pound lang po ako din. Sufficient evidence na po yung ni VP to grave President why you present her as a hostile witness.
Again, let's not preempt the issue. And if we will call her witness, not necessarily fine. Articles really grave. So, but siguro for now, hintayin muna natin. Baka it's too early to talk about it. Let's go about it in detail when the prosecution ready.
Dadagdag ko lang, Ross. The beauty about the trial is every day nagkakaroon ng clarity as to the procedure and what is acceptable to the court. No? Si Attorney Kapunan for the court ruling. At least it's that the clarification of Attorney Kapunan was entered into the record for the court also to contemplate on the possibility of allowing such presentation. It's either material or hostile witness. So, yun po yung ginawa ni Attorney Kapunan. Para clarity for both the defense, the present evidence, subject to the 5-day ruling that you have to inform the court and as well as the opposing side. So that is just a manifestation that open court, so purpose of clarity.
Pero hindi nyo naman po ini-intend na pagsabaying i-present or pagsunuring i-present si Attorney Zuleika Lopez and the Vice President. For example, because you are on for Sa Zuleika Lopez.
Tignan mo natin, matters like that or matters of trial strategy that fall upon the exclusive discretion of the prosecution. So, let's wait and see.
Lang po, Sir Representative Antonio Tino said, ang defense team, ang strategy nila magbato ng objections and delaying tactics. Do you agree with this observation po?
Well, ayaw naman nating mag-ascribe ng any ill intentions dun sa other party, But we're all of what happened with impeachments about it.
But you're happy with the...
Dadagdag ko lang kasi we observe that also. Again, it's the right and the strategy of the defense. Both sides. We also the prosecution elections time po and that's the regular occurrence in an actual trial. What is important is napakita po ng House prosecution how ready we are, how the prosecution yung na-presenta sa korte pati na rin sa publiko, and no matter the strategy or the yung sa defense, hindi na butasan yung ebidensya at na expert witness na matest niya itong mga videos na to ay hindi doctored at kinolekta nila to, pinreserve nila ito, no? So yun ang very important na niya kahapon.
So DG,
Well, you know, it's too early to make any judgments about this, no? But what we can say is they repeated that block evidence to do that yesterday. But before we end it, no, even though Red already left, I think it's just proper that we give Kong Zia the opportunity to address the question because a while ago responded to makapagan.
Yes, Kong. You know, sinabi mo na you secured panalo ka.
Now you're working about it as a whole, but
So
baka to be fair,
let me clarify. Must witness what happened yesterday. You know. When I say we claim victory, I do not refer to the actual specific way that we have presented that we did, for example, the outcome of this whole trial. What I'm trying to prove to the public is that for the long time, the House has been doing all the efforts that we have exerted for the trial to proceed. Because we believe that this is about accountability mechanism of the Constitution. This is upholding and preserving and promoting the Constitution. And for that premise, our victorious purpose is to serve the Filipino public. And whatever is the way and means by which to serve the Filipino public is victory to the Filipino people.
Kinilig ka lang, excite ka.
Pati rin, lahat naman nangyari. Masaya sa nangyari.
Alright.
Okay, so where's
Alright, on that note, sana masaya tayo lahat for this press conference and we want to see you again. We welcome you again tomorrow for another.
Everyone, thank you.
Have a blessed